Because we see a jumble of x's and y's in this equation, this is an implicit differentiation problem. Now the steps for implicit differentiation are here, but the big one to keep in mind is that anytime I take the derivative of a y, I have to tack on dy dx at the end of that. So watch as I do this problem. X cubed's derivative is 3x squared. 2y cubed's derivative would be negative 6y squared, but because I took the derivative of a term like a y, I have to tack on a dy dx. This next term, unfortunately, will require the product rule, 9 times x times y. We have x times y there, so we're going to use the product rule. Let's take the derivative of 9x. That would just be 9, and I leave the y alone. Plus, now I'm going to take the derivative of the y and leave the 9x alone. So 9x, the derivative of y would be 1, but because we took the derivative of a y, we tack on a dy dx. And the derivative of 1 is just 0, so it goes away. And the derivative of the right-hand side is also 0, because 0's derivative is 0. Okay, now that I've got the derivative of the left-hand side and the right-hand side, that's step 1, I'm going to collect all the terms that have dy dx to one side and all the terms that don't on the other. So that means leaving this term here and this term here while subtracting these terms over to the right. Those guys are going to get shipped over to the right-hand side. So let's see, I'm going to have negative 6y squared dy dx plus 9x dy dx equals negative 3x squared minus 9y. Now, the next step is to factor dy dx out of both terms that have dy dx in them. So if I do that, I have dy dx times negative 6y squared plus 9x, still negative 3x squared minus 9y on the right-hand side. I'm going to divide by this chunk of terms so as to isolate dy dx. So we now have dy dx equals negative 3x squared minus 9y over negative 6y squared plus 9x. You could do a few things to simplify this. I'm going to factor out a negative 3 from the top, and I'm going to factor a negative 3 out from the bottom. This is going to give me negative 3 times x squared plus 3y over negative 3 times positive 2y squared minus 3x. Now that I factor that negative 3 out, I can cancel them, and this leaves me with my final answer.